But the combo is to grab Tainted Pact and cast it for free. So we will do that. So we'll go ahead and Tainted Pact. And they know. They know. Awesome when they just concede and we don't have to click 87 times. I love that for us. All right. Looking somewhat acceptable on this hand. Okay, so we have a Nykthos, and we have an Ancient Tomb, one black source. Playing against Bonnie Paul, Clear Cutter. When it enters, you get an Ox that has power toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Alright, we will lead it off with Nykthos. Pass turn. Looks like we'll be able to cast our commander with Villainous Hideout. And they play a Badger Mole Cub. Alright. We might be able to have to think this through. They're leaving up blue. I think we set it up for Dark Ritual. Let's give it a shot. Dark Ritual, and then we'll try and play our commander. Or we could play Necropotence. That might be the better play. Seems like they have a response. Yep. Alright, so I'm glad I sensed that they had something. Still, we're going to need to get our combo piece, I think. Okay, so now we have Cavernous Souls, so they won't be able to counter our commander. So let's put it on Villain. And cast our commander. And so we should have we'll have 6 mana next turn, so if our commander is not dealt with, if they somehow tap out, I think we can just win here. Let's see what happens. Leaving up mana. Alright, we'll play the Ancient Tomb. Play Mox Opal. That's not turned on. Huh, do we just go for it here? Yeah, let's go ahead and try. And so we'll sack the Mox Opal to pay for the Beseech the Mirror bargain cost. And let's see if they can stop this. So mana drain the Beseech the Mirror, okay. So that's unfortunate. I think we'll just leave back Dr. Doom as a blocker. And we're not under any immediate pressure at the moment. Yeah, this is where it gets tough. So we'll we'll put a stop on their end step, and then we'll activate Dr. Doom to draw a card after combat's over. Their Memory Delusion. Three cards left. But they have Badger Mole up, so they're making quite a bit of mana. Let's activate. All right, so we've got enough for Rune-Scarred Demon. Oh, I guess we don't. Not enough black, I guess. Alright, so in that case, let's Entomb and see if they got an answer for that. What do we put in the graveyard? I think just another creature that can allow us to search our library. So we'll throw Sidisi Undead Vizier into the graveyard. Cool. And let's play out Skateboard. If we equip it, it'll give our commander +1/+0 in haste, but let's tap this down. See if they allow that. Floating the mana. Let's just go ahead and equip. See if they got a response for that. Seems like they're having quite a few responses for everything. Are they gonna bounce? Okay, they're gonna play Hullbreaker Horror. That's unfortunate. Let's play out the Soulstone. And so now the bad thing is, now that we got this Hullbreaker Horror, they're going to be able to bounce. They're going to be able to bounce the Dr. Doom every single play. So I don't expect we're going to be able to win from here. Let's put that in hand. We'll humor this just in case we're able to. Bounce, but they're going to have this extra mana, so we probably are just not going to be able to do anything. Our only chance is to okay. Yeah, alright, we're done. And that's how this goes sometimes. Alright. This looks like a pretty acceptable hand. Has a lot of removal, a very late search our library type card, and we're going up against Jodah the Unifier. Alright, so we'll keep this, probably lead off on starting town and pass turn. So I've not seen Jodah the Unifier in competitive Brawl, so this ought to be interesting. Not to say that it's not good or anything. Alright, so we'll have Feed the Swarm up for their next threat. Or Dismember's another option. Dismember will take care of Jodah if they play that. Of course, I'm imagining they're going to play some smaller threats first. Let's pass. Let's flash out Orcish Bowmasters. On their end step. That'll keep them from drawing too many cards, or it'll draw out a counterspell if they've got it. Okay, Force of Will. I like seeing that because a Force of Will out of their hand makes it so that we can combo off So we'll pass turn. They play Heuristic Study. We're going to... I think we're going to ignore the Heuristic Study. We don't necessarily care if they draw cards. I'm just trying to consider here whether I play out Doctor Doom, because it's going to be a little bit before we find the combo. I do like this. I'll let them draw a card. And I don't think there's any other free interaction in competitive Brawl other than Force of Will, which they just played. So either this is a removal. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go for this here. And we'll pay. And we will decline. And so this is the tough part of the deck, is that you have to click through your entire library. So we've got 84 cards, so that means 84 clicks. And we have to not misclick on any of them. And so it's not likely that they've got any kind of interaction now, because they would have stopped the Tainted Pact. I mean, certainly it's possible that we Tainted Pact, exile our entire library, and activate his ability, Dr. Doom's ability, and then they Swords to Plowshare. But it's not, I'm going to just bank on the fact that they don't have it. Because the thing with this deck is that you have to go for it. You have to just say, you know what, either they have it or they don't. So last game when we played, you know, they had the Hull Breaker, and we knew that they could just continue chaining off spells, and we were never going to resolve the way that our commander wins, so we just conceded rather than wasting a bunch of time on it. In this case, we're winning on turn 4, it looks like. So, anyway, continue to click decline, decline, decline. So, Tainted Pact. We have Doomsday in the deck, and we've also got Doomsday Excruciator. These are the ways that Tainted Pact is the only way that we have to directly exile our library all at once. Doomsday and Doomsday Excruciator are a bit more expensive. Doomsday being 3 black mana, Doomsday Excruciator being 6 black mana, and there's some extra steps involved. But that is another way that we can win with this deck. So, in the deck tech, I will go through the deck, but this is very glass cannon-y, as many of my competitive Brawl builds have been thus far. So far, we've only played 2, and opponent decides they've had enough, and they concede. Let's take a look and see how many cards we had left. Yep, we have 26, so we'll leave match. Alright, playing against Kellen the Fae-Blooded. I don't think I've ever seen this one in competitive Brawl before. Alright, let's give it a shot. Can we possibly keep this? I think we're going to actually have to mulligan here, because we've only got 1 land. Mox Opal won't be turned on anytime soon, so yep, let's mulligan that. This is great. We can just drop Rune-Scarred Demon, because that's 7 mana. So, off you go. We can play Unholy Annex on turn 3. Great, we got a command tower. Let's play that first. I guess we could play No Mercy if they're an attacking type deck here. Okay, cool. We got Dismember. So we can instantly kill whatever creature they play. I mean, it looks like they have to be some kind of non-creature attacky type deck. Maddening Hex. So whenever we cast a non-creature spell, they roll a d6. This aura deals damage to that player equal to the result. Then attach this aura to another one of your opponents. So this is the commander card, but in Brawl, it just constantly attaches to us. So we're going to need to win quickly. Alright, so we're going to take 2 damage. We're going to take another 2 damage at end step for Unholy Annex. Let's see. They ditched an Overwhelming Splendor, so it looks like they're some kind of Boros Curses deck, oddly. Alright, so what do we do next turn? They're searching for an aura or equipment card. So far they've just been auras. They ditched a Wrath of God. Oh, a Curse of Silence, so they could make our Dr. Doom more expensive. Okay. Well, that's, don't like seeing that. They ditched a Ghostly Prism because they rightly suspected that we're not an attacking type deck. Alright, so let's play Demolition Field. Let's grab ourselves a Swamp. And let's get rid of this Restless Bivouac, because this thing can attack. And we do have a couple basic lands in our deck. So we'll search up the Snow-Covered Swamp. We'll get a land. Alright, so Curse of Silence makes it so that Dr. Doom costs 2 more. Alright, we're going to dismember, kill him. So we'll pay 2 life and then kill this. We're going to take probably a lot of damage from this Maddening Hex. So they're a Stacks deck, oddly, and they reprieved that. Wow. This is kind of wild. Kind of wild. Alright, Field of the Dead comes in untapped. Let's go ahead and full price dismember so that we don't penny life. Take 3 damage. We're gonna be hard pressed to win just because of the stacks and the Maddening Hex. So we have a couple of expensive search our library cards. Play Sheoldred. We'll play out Barad-dûr. I think we just leave up. Alright, I just think we have to get as much mana as possible, so Arcane Signet, despite how much this will hurt. Ooh, man, that might have been the wrong choice. Alright, we got a little bit of life back. But anything could kill us. Bone Crusher Giant. What does this say? It deals that much damage plus 2, so we die? Oh my gosh. Wow. I did not expect that they would have that much interaction, but I think with this deck, we're close to Mythic, so about every other game we're losing unexpectedly. Alright, this is going to be an extremely difficult matchup. We're playing against Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. It's a CDH card, so it makes sense that we would see it here in competitive Brawl. We'll keep this. I'm trying to think if I think I'll probably ditch Emeritus of Woe to Chrome Mox. Because I think Emeritus is going to be too slow. We've already got 2 search effects here in Mastermind's Acquisition and Wishclaw Talisman that are much cheaper. So we'll lead off on Hagra Mauling, or Hagra Brood Pit side that comes in tapped. Play out Chrome Mox, exile Emeritus of Woe, submit that, and now we've got 2 mana. Feels pretty good to have 2 mana before they've even played a card. They play out Dreamroot Cascade tapped. Let's play out Demo Field. Let's play out Wishclaw Talisman. And do we dare to search? Yeah, I think we need to not let them search, so we'll hold on to Wishclaw Talisman until last moment. Alright, we got a Fountain Port, so we should be able to play our commander, but I think... yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Only way they can stop that is Force of Will. Alright, so they've got Kinnan, Llanowar Elves, Moonsilver Key. And so I believe that we should be able to go for this now. So let's see. They could have one more spell in their hand that stops us now. They could have Fierce Guardianship. Or there's another one that I'm not thinking of. But anyway, let's concentrate so we don't mess this up. Alright, Tainted Pact. And we're going to go for the combo now. So we'll try to resolve. Okay, it resolved. So I don't believe that they have an answer. And so here we go, clicking through 85 cards. Alright, so this time they just conceded. Most of the time, though, in competitive Brawl, especially up at this level, opponents will make you do the entire dance, the shuffle and dance of exiling every single card one at a time and making you do it correctly. But in this case, they just didn't want to sit through it, and we win the game against Kinnan. And that's pretty awesome. Alright, playing against Domri. This hand is looking pretty good. We've got a couple haste givers. No real mana accelerants, but we've got tutors, haste givers, no mana accelerants, so 2 out of 3 is not bad. Keep that. We'll lead off on Castle Doom. That'll let us cast our Lava Spur Boots. So they're in red-green. So that color combination is not really great at interacting with the Dr. Doom combo. Only thing that they could possibly do is have a large creature out, and assuming that we're not able to protect our commander, they could fight our commander and kill it. That's the only way that they can stop us. So let's play out Swiftfoot Boots, because that's a little bit better than Lava Spur. Lava Spur gives haste and ward 1, but it's not full protection. Swiftfoot Boots says the equipped creature has hexproof and haste, so that's much more what we want, because they won't be able to target it. Alright, so Phyrexian Tower. Let's dismember the Mana Dork. Let's just check something real quick. We're only able to pay 1 black. So we'll do that. Oh, I mistook that. Can't pay any black whatsoever. We gotta pay 1 and 4 life. Next turn we'll be able to have some black. Well, we'll have a black source, but it'll come in tap. Bojuka Bog. Phyrexian Tower won't produce black unless we're able to sacrifice a creature, as we see. High Market just produces colorless. Castle Doom will let us it'll produce a mana of any color, but it has to be spent on an artifact. So let's do Soulstone, Bojuka Bog, exile the graveyard. And I'm feeling pretty good about our chances here. Because they've got Clothis, God of Destiny, out. But we should be able to play out our commander and equip next turn, and just giving it hexproof, so they have to have an instant answer for it, or they'll have to destroy one of our artifacts, which they might. Okay, so they play Sunspine Lynx, which is pretty good, but in this case, it says players cannot gain life. Let's go ahead and equip the boots. We have Deadly Rollick so that we can just instantly get rid of this. Let's go ahead and now swing in, get some of that life back, and I'm feeling much better about our chances here. We got 19 life. Sure, we're going to take some damage from Clothix, but they have no board presence and they cannot target. They cannot target our commander. They play another thing that says opponents can't gain life, but that is not what our deck cares about. Alright, so off we go to the win. We will beseech the mirror. We'll bargain, sacrificing Lava Spur, or we could sack the Soulstone, either one. But that should allow us to just win from here. It's that easy, guys. Oh, well, as I'm talking here, I forget the combo, but the combo is to grab Tainted Pact and cast it for free. So we will do that. So go ahead and Tainted Pact, and they know. They know. Awesome when they just concede and we don't have to click 87 times. I love that for us. I don't know. What are we playing against? I don't know what this commander is. Let's let him choose their starting hand, because I know that if we look at it, we'll just get our handle just like that, Okay. So this is fine. We'll ditch either Dr. Doom or Razaketh the Foulblooded to Chrome Mox, and we'll entomb something else. So this is what? Winota Joiner Forces. Okay. That's a pretty powerful card. You'll see that in CDH sometimes. Alright, so we'll keep this. I think we will ditch Dr. Doom, as it's too slow. Razaketh, alright, starting things off immediately with Esper Sentinel. Play Inventor's Fair. Chrome Mox. They'll draw a card. Well, we can auto pay because we're not planning on doing anything. So yeah, let's not give them the card advantage. We'll ditch Dr. Doom. It's more in here for flavor and the fact that it synergizes with our commander in terms of like drawing us extra cards. And so first non-creature spell, let's Entomb. And put something else that can search for things in our graveyard. Let's search for Rune-Scarred Demon. And go in our graveyard. And that will turn on some of our other effects that allow us to search. They're called tutors. For some reason, it escapes me, but they're called tutors. Alright, so Mox Opal still not turned on. We will auto pay for that. What can we do? Alright, feels like their deck is going to be focused a lot on attacking and maybe not so much interacting with us. So, be great if somehow we were able to play Dr. Doom next turn, because I feel like we could go off after that. So maybe it's Insatiable Avarice and then Dr. Doom and hope. But we didn't start taking a lot of damage very quickly. Okay, this is good because it means that we'll be able to play Dr. Doom. We will not pay. Well, yeah, we can pay. We can pay. And then Dr. Doom. And then if they don't have a way to kill us, let's see. So this will cost. Okay, so they solituted the Dr. Doom. I suppose I should have anticipated something. I was just trying to go for it here. So they have to, let's see, Solitude. I guess we gain a life here. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe every life point is important. So they're triggering Winota. Very unfortunate that they had this Solitude. Honestly, wasn't considering that as an answer. Alright, we got an Ancient Tomb. Let's see. So this is going to cost us 5. It's sorcery speed. And we don't have enough to... Yeah. This is not great. I guess we'll say that we did it correctly, as we didn't want to pay for Esper Sentinel. I think we're going to need to do a Damnation. We have... Gonna have to be Toxic Deluge, because we just are choked on black mana here. Wow. Toxic Deluge, I guess, is what we gotta get. Now deal with Indestructible. We might just be dead. Yeah, super dead. Super dead. Alright, up against another tough matchup. We do go first, and we do have Wishclaw Talisman and Grim Tutor on the play, so I think we gotta go for this. Play Multiversal Passage on black. Enter tapped. No reason to pay extra life there. Alright, so Mana Confluence, play out Arcane Signet. Pay a little bit of life there. And what is our next turn looking like? Are we playing Unholy Annex or... Alright, so they got Jet Medallion. That's also something that we play. Let's go ahead and draw some cards. While they have no board presence. And we may have to search for a board wipe before we even attempt our combo, as Sephiroth is going to be very problematic. And let's see, they got Jet Medallion, so black spells cost 1 less to cast. Let's play this tapped. Let's play Grim Tutor. What are we searching for? It's tough, because I feel that we're going to have to destroy... we're going to have to destroy their board quickly. Alright, we got a One Ring, which can protect us next turn, as long as they don't do anything too crazy. And draw some cards. We play a Gray Merchant, which takes us down quite a bit. And they're going to sack the Gray Merchant. We're going to have to play One Ring. And take a bunch of damage. Ooh, this is not looking good for us. Not looking good. So they've got some kind of upkeep stuff for us. Let's Damnation. Let's play Wishclaw Talisman, taking even more damage. We'll take another 2. Oh yeah, we just lose so much life. Massacre Worm does what? Alright. Going to have to unlock this and pass turn just so that we don't die. We discard. Sidisi. But yeah. Oh, they can just Rogue's Passage and kill us. And yeah, that'll do it. They got us. Alright guys, we have had quite a up and down run here. I believe we should expect this because we are very close to hitting Mythic in competitive Brawl. Opponent's going to go first. I like our hand here. We got the Dalthy, we got the Jet Medallion, got the Damnation. So they're playing Baron Helmet Zemo. We'll get to that in a second. So whenever you cast a black spell from your hand, it connives. And it has Boast, exile any number of black cards from your graveyard with 15 or more black mana symbols among their mana cost. Copy the exiled cards. You can exile up to 3 of the copies without paying their mana costs. And Boast means you activate the ability only if the creature attacked this turn and only once each turn. Alright. We'll put this on villain. I know they can't counter anything, or not anything I can think of anyway. We play our Jet Medallion, making it so that all of our black spells cost 1 less. They play Ral Zarek. So they're gonna Surveil 2. Makes sense with their commander, I suppose. Alright, so let's play Castle Doom. Do we dare? Do we dare play our commander against a black deck full of removal? I don't think so. I've been winning and losing about the fair rate, and I feel like I really just have to make the correct decisions. The good news about this deck, if you elect to play it, is I think there's going to be pilots out there much better than me. So if you choose to craft this deck, there's probably a pretty good chance, if you're really good, that you can take this to Mythic. Alright, so here I'm going to change my strategy. So I've got to reanimate in my hand, so even if they do have a removal spell, that is fine, because we'll just reanimate it on our next turn. So it'll get that removal out of their hand. Hopefully they can't also exile our graveyard. Alright, so they're discarding duresses and removal, so what does Modek do? Gives our stuff -1/-1. Makes this really big. Alright. Oh, they're actually able to do this? Wow. Bolus's Citadel. Oh man. Breach the multiverse. Only good thing about that is we do have that reanimate. Can we kind of get them with this? They got Sidisi, Burning-Rune Demon. They've got Bristlebrand. Alright, they are going to take our Burning-Rune Demon. Let's give them the Curic rather than the Arden. We'll submit that. They've got a copy of Bolus's Citadel, so they'll be able to play additional spells off the top. And this is kind of wild. I still think that if they don't have removal, we have this. So let's take a look. Draw. They have the Sheoldred. We need to kill all this immediately. Man. So what can we do? Can we just... Okay, I see the line. And it does take me a little bit of time here. Just trying to consider everything before I cast this. Alright, so reanimate. Cast Sidisi. It'll cost us 5 life. We'll exploit the Sidisi. Then we can search for a Tainted Pact. Yeah, I think we got this. And this is why I was recording several games here, because I wanted to show the ups and downs of this. But this is awesome, because we're just able to win through that gigantic thing that they just did. Because they just didn't have removal. Tainted Pact. We play Tainted Pact. And we win. Because we're not drawing any cards here. So decline. And we'll just decline 73 times. We will draw a card at the end, but doesn't matter. And they hang it up. Been pretty lucky that we haven't had to go through the entire gamut, but that's the deck at its best. Alright, if you made it to the end of the video, you're awesome. So I had a lot of fun with this deck. This was super cool. I just churned through the lower ranks like bronze, silver, gold. They just didn't have a chance. And now I'm up in diamond at level 1. So I'm very close to making mythic with this deck. But as you would expect, the competition is pretty stiff up this level. So how does this deck work? We've got Dr. Doom, Unrivaled. As you can read, it's got lifelink, and then you tap it, you draw a card, lose a life. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. So our entire strategy is built around this card, and then Tainted Pact. So everything else in the deck is either haste enablers, such as Skateboard or Swiftfoot Boots. We prefer things like Swiftfoot Boots because it gives our commander protection. Skateboard is a little cheaper, but it just gives it'll give your commander haste, because what you need to know about this card is that once you play it, you're not able to immediately activate this tap ability, of course, because you'd have to wait till next turn. In a very competitive format, it's not a smart thing to just leave your commander out unprotected. So that's why we have these haste enablers and protection pieces. We've also got a little bit of secret deck tech here with Marvin, Murderous Mimic. So Marvin has all the activated abilities of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. So what that means is we can play Marvin on turn 2. On turn 3 or turn 4, we can play our Dr. Doom. And assuming we've got our combo piece, it's somewhat like giving it haste because Marvin will let us tap and have the same card text that's on Dr. Doom essentially will be on Marvin. I was play testing this last night and that did pop up. So we've got what else? So we've got haste enablers. We have a little bit of stacks pieces, like we've got Imp's Mischief, which is a protection spell that, let's say they go and target our commander. Assuming we have the mana up to protect him, we can just redirect that removal spell over to one of their creatures. Everything else is, so we've got haste enablers, a little bit of stacks with Imp's Mischief. We've also got Defense Grid. Let's see, we've also got No Mercy. I put that in here last night. It's a kind of a flavor win. It says whenever a creature deals damage to you, destroy it. So it'll protect you for a turn or two in competitive Brawl. It's far better at lower level tables because just the threats are less, but this doesn't stop you from dying. So if let's say your opponent has lethal damage, I mean, it's not going to stop you from dying. It just will give them pause if they've got like a big creature or something like that. They won't be able to swing immediately until they get rid of this because sure, they can hit you for a bunch of damage, but then their creature's dead. So what other protection we've got? The One Ring, of course. And we've got a lot of tutors, as I said. I mean, our deck is just filled to the brim with tutors because this being such a glass cannon-y deck, we literally just have to find that combo piece of Tainted Pact. Once we're able to resolve Tainted Pact, Dr. Doom is able to activate that ability. A lot of times we're just able to win. So we do have a little bit of a backup plan here. We also have Doomsday in here. Let's try and find that real quick. There we go, Doomsday. That's also got the Doctor Doom art, and it was printed this year along with some of the other Marvel Commander cards. Pretty sweet there. That never popped up, and I actually prefer not to use this as a combo piece because there's just much more steps to it, and much more chances for us to be interacted with. So let's say that the Tainted Pact does get countered, right? So we still do have Doomsday in our deck, and so what we can do is we can Doomsday, and then what we'll do is I've got a large card draw spell here. Let's see if we can find that. Here we go. So it's Pitiless Carnage. So what we do, we Doomsday, we put Pitiless Carnage on top, right? And so we're able to sacrifice all of our lands or anything we have in play to just go ahead and draw the rest of our library. This was a bit of a deep dive for me to try to figure out how to get this to work because it's very difficult to draw the last few cards of your deck when you don't have the Tainted Pact. So the Tainted Pact is cleaner answer. Doomsday will work along with Pitiless Carnage. Finally, the weakest piece of this combo is we can play out our Doomsday Excruciator. This is a standard all-star, so this one we just have no control over what cards are left in our deck, so we're not able to really sequence it. So that's going to be just our last drop dead last ditch effort to try to win the game, and probably work a lot better in formats outside of competitive Brawl, but we want to have as many answers or as many ways of winning as possible. It's not likely that we're going to be able to win with just a straight up mid-range strategy. So we do have a few things such as, so we've got our big three. We've got Sheoldred, we've got the One Ring, we've got the Orcish Bowmasters. I'm kind of talking and not actually hovering over them, but I'll hover over them when I see them. All right, so Orcish Bowmasters, as I mentioned, it's going to be a stacks piece that stops our opponent from drawing a ton of cards. One Ring helps us draw into our tutors and our answers, and we have a ton of removal with the Damnations and Dismember, things of that nature. We can Entomb one of our combo pieces, so Entomb would work, and let's say we Entomb Sidisi, then we can play out Sidisi with like a Reanimate or something like that and get our combo piece. So one thing to note here, and I know I've been rambling about this deck, but it's been really fun and I'm really excited about it. So just there's a lot to talk about here. One thing that we had to kind of work around here with Tainted Pact, since we don't have Demonic Consultation in MTG Arena, which is a 1-mana instant that does a similar thing. If you play CDH, you're probably familiar with the Thoracle combo. So with Tainted Pact, you have to have all differently named cards. So because of this, we do not have more than one differently named land. So we don't have like 30 swamps, for instance. So we do have 2 swamps. One of them's a swamp, the other one's snow-covered swamp, and then the other things are just things that make black, do increase our mana, such as Ancient Tomb. We've got Nykthos in here, give us this little extra ramp. Villainous Hideout works really well with our deck because it'll tap for black with our commander. But outside of that, yeah, again, I mentioned that this is a really fun deck. I feel like a more talented pilot might be able to just take it into Mythic. I may be able to eventually take it into Mythic, but it's going to take me a while, I believe, because it's probably sitting at about 45% win rate at this moment. But as far as salt meter goes, this has got to be probably a 10 out of 10 because not only just combo out from nowhere, your opponent usually will have to sit through the Tainted Pact combo. Most of the games that I showcased today, that didn't happen. The opponent just conceded once they saw what was going on. But usually it's about 3 to 4 minutes of clicking through every entire card and electing it to not put in our hand until we have an empty library, and then we finish out the game that way. All right, well, this has been super fun. I'm looking forward to some things that we got on the horizon for next week in terms of some salty decks. But this has been Salt Mine Gaming, and thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you next week. Take care.